Hello and welcome to Inventors Arena. I'm Ed and this is Scott. And today we're going to discuss how should inventors repair their credit. Scott, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, sometimes inventors spend all their money to get them to a certain point in time, and that's to be expected. I mean, you are starting a business, and investors will expect that as well. But also along the way, sometimes you end up putting a lot on credit cards, and we understand that's kind of a cash flow method. But a lot of times people just run out of money and they run out of credit and they end up getting bad credit. And then that hurts them later on when it comes time to sit across the table with an investor.
Yeah, or even for self-financing too. It's critical. You've got that credit ring.
Yeah, that is true. So, but credit is necessary. It's part of the game, so to speak. And it really helps once you do, run through all of your money, or you haven't run through all of your money and you want to make sure that you keep some cash flow, but you want to put some of it on credit cards. So it's really about balancing between the two and making good financial decisions along the way.
Yeah, you want to be showing your credit worthiness, right?
Yeah. Yep. You want to be financially responsible. I think the term would be that the investor would, would use.
And a big thing too, be prepared because all kinds of things can happen. And that's why we're bringing this up too, because then you can think in advance, especially if you're just starting into a project or if you're into it a ways or if you've already got bad credit or whatever. We're hitting it on different levels so you can prepare in advance, hopefully, and have that credit worthiness that you need. And if not, get it back where it needs to be, right?
Yeah, it's something to work on. So if you like this content, let us know. And we hope that you like and subscribe the video.
Yeah, because we really want to be helpful to our audience and talk about what you want us to talk about. So always good to have input. So what does good credit show? Having good credit shows that you're disciplined, as Scott mentioned, and worthy of trust to lend to. And that's a big thing these days. But we also realize life happens and some people don't understand how much bad credit affects them. And then when they decide they need to work to fix their credit, that's what this episode is kind of about.
Yeah. Yeah, if your credit score is 25, that's
it's in the deep red zone.
That could be an issue, yes, as you're moving forward. So I want to state here that like all of our videos, we don't give legal and financial advice, but we're just sharing with you some of the things that we've experienced along the way and some of the programs that we have put in place to kind of help those that we'll talk about here in a minute that have some difficulties with their credit.
Yeah, we also like to kind of pull in some public knowledge into one spot and then deliver it to you. So it's kind of boiled down. And then if you do need financial advice or legal advice, then by all means, talk to a financial advisor or an attorney or whoever you need to talk to and do your own research too.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you have good credit is good, great credit is better. And what you will find is the more you work on your credit, the better your credit score will be, the better the interest rate is that you can negotiate, and the higher your credit limit will be to give you more options and flexibility. So it's something that you have to work on all the time. If you've maintained good credit along the way, that's great. And maybe you just hit a little bit of a hurdle here because of your inventors, idea and your invention idea. Yeah. And that can be expected.
Yeah.
It's like a bump in the road, but you want to get back to fixing it as quickly as possible, particularly if at some point in time down the road, you're going to have to sit down in front of investors.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you really want to be viewed as less risky. You want to be that responsible person. And we realize, especially nowadays, life is really happening in a quick spot. There's all kinds of inflation. There's all kinds of things going on. But with positive knowledge and effort, it's certainly not impossible to come back from even a really bad spot, right? Yeah. But it does take time. There's other things we're going to share with you, but that we're bringing up these conversations. Sometimes they're not always easy conversations, but we're here to help. So, and we're going to talk about all kinds of different things on the channel. And we'd like to share some tips on different things. And this is one, and we're talking about credit today. So repairing credit requires patience and a consistent proactive approach. It's like kind of that bitter medicine that we talk about sometimes. We only love it because why? It works, right? It's not
Good
fun
for
to
you.
take, but yeah, it gets it done, and you get on with making things better. So first and foremost, focus on paying all your bills on time.
Yeah. Even if it's just the minimum amount, you don't want to fall behind
No.
at all. So even if you can only pay the minimum amount, again, we're not giving financial advice, but from personal experience, I have found that, if you're not paying the minimum amount, they get unhappy with you.
Yes.
Yeah. And obviously, the more you can reduce the debt over time, the better it, and the faster that you can do that. Ideally, you want it to be under 30%. And that would be kind of like a minimum. You would, that's kind of like the bare minimum. If you're above that, that's going to probably be a red flag to an investor.
Yeah, and you want to get that down under that 30% as quickly as possible.
Yeah, if you can get it down, I would say down 15% to 10%. That shows the investor that you are, conscious with your money, you're good with cash flow, and all that kind of good stuff. So, I mean, they expect you not to be perfect.
No.
Nobody is perfect. And they want to see that you have invested into your own idea. So to some degree, putting some of your invention idea cost onto a credit card demonstrates that you are financially backing your own idea.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
yeah. And as Ed said, it doesn't come quickly. It takes a while to rebuild that path. And we're not talking days or hours. We're talking months sometimes.
Yeah, or even years sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it can take a while to do that. So the best time to start is today.
Absolutely.
Right?
Proactive. That's what I just mentioned too. We're very proactive on stuff, and we hope you are too. And if you run into any problems, you can always dispute the errors, right? On credit reports, something will come up.
Yeah, credit reports are free nowadays. You should always pull one, probably at least quarterly, and make sure that everything that is on there is accurate and correct. And if it isn't, you have the right and ability to go in there and contest it.
Yeah, and I would say a good spot to go to that I've found I personally use is creditkarma.com. It's free. And also, like you talk about getting credit reports, they've got one in there and it doesn't affect your credit rating when you pull it. So as versus, I think, at least in the old days, it used to be where every time you pulled your credit rating, it was like a hard hit on it. So yeah, I can't say enough about Credit Karma. I don't know, they're great. They advertise all kinds of stuff, but they're really, really good for tracking loans that you've got and what you've got for outstanding balances and all kinds of stuff. So go look it up if you can. You can register and see where you're at and keep track of your credit as you grow it. And that's kind of exciting because it's nice to see it going this way instead of going this way or this way, and you want to get access to credit reports, like Scott mentioned, that don't affect your score.
Yeah.
And I check mine many times a week, actually, just to make sure everything's going as it's supposed to be.
You have too much free time, so. Yeah, you will want to figure out the strategy guy. You'll want to figure out the right strategy that works for you. You're going to balance, the amount that you put on a credit card versus cash, the amount that you put on secured credit cards versus unsecured credit card, and even loans. You may go out to friends and family and just take loans as part of that as well. And you want to make sure you have a good conscious balance of the amount of money that you owe everybody out there. But particularly, if you are having difficulty, you can get a secured credit card, maybe put some money down on it, put some collateral behind the credit card, and then that helps build your score along the way, which is part of that growing process of getting that score back up above 25.
Yeah, I think the big thing is having a plan, just avoiding any unnecessary credit. We've realized that it takes credit. We realize it takes cash to turn a wheel to do anything, especially when you're, getting prototypes done and you're getting it redone or whatever, and you're doing marketing, whatever, every way you turn, it costs money. So it's good to have that strategic plan like Scott has at place, and what we honestly teach in the program is very valuable to have, because if you don't have a plan, it's a very rough go and very tough to get success that way.
Yeah. I've also learned that it's good not to fill out a whole bunch of credit card applications because those get reported back to the bureaus as well, and they can impact your credit score.
Yes,
When you do that,
absolutely.
so
Yeah, because they look at it like, why do you all of a sudden need all these credit
yeah,
cards?
you've got 88 of them now. Why is that?
But on the same extent, it's good to keep old accounts open. And
Yeah.
I learned that early on, that I figured, oh, I'm not using that credit card from the days when I was in university, the student card or whatever. Oh, I might as well cancel it. I got a big person card now or whatever. And I was actually told, no, keep that going, because that shows that you've got that credit open for longer. So retain those old credit accounts to maintain a longer credit history, even if you're not using them. Repairing credit is about doing the right things and changing bad behavior. For example, spend less, rely on credit less, pay with cash. Remember that old thing we called cash? Here we got some right here from the Inventors Arena.
There you go. From the game.
Yeah. So anyway, wait until you have the cash. Sometimes it requires that discipline thing. And I even take pride in being frugal. I'm not ever cheap, but I am frugal. And I take great pride in that. I look for the really good deals, and in our course, we give the great value, right? And repairing credit, you just got to remember, don't be overspending, and it does take a while. It's going to take a while. It's a process. It didn't get in bad shape overnight, and the repair is not going to necessarily happen overnight either. Of course, if you accelerate different things, if you start paying off stuff and getting it back with a plan, then it's going to advance quicker. But know eventually, with paying bills on time, using less credit, avoiding new inquiries, that they'll see improvements over time, and that will set you free, because it's no fun being a slave to bad debt, and it just makes life easier.
Yeah.
And that's why I mentioned looking at that Credit Karma thing too, because you can go up. I've got different people in my life that I know that they're working on their credit to go. Some are going from, 650 to 750 is their goal. And then some are trying to hit on the 850 mark or whatever. But even if you're starting as low as it goes, it's just encouraging to see it coming up in an upward progress.
And everybody should do that, regardless of where you're at. I mean, that is part of you. You should take care of your financial responsibilities
Whether you're an inventor or
Yes.
if you're not, you just happen on the channel, we encourage you to be very disciplined and get it in order.
Now, you had mentioned a minute ago about the course. So why don't you share a little bit about what we have done with the course in terms of financing?
Yeah, so we have made it so it's available. Obviously, you can go in there and pay it in one shot if you want to. We've kept the price down on it, so we give you a ton of value, like we were mentioning earlier. We're very proud of that. And also, but we realize that some people can buy the full course, and that gives you everything you need. And then there's also stages down from that, so you can start on the bottom one, and then work to the mid-level, and then take the full course on that. So that's another option.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got this super thing going on now for financing, which we discuss in another video. But in essence, it allows you to go on to Stripe and whoever they're working with, and to get great, pay over time rates. So we're excited about that, because then if you want to make your invention work and get to a place of success and start making money from it, then you can do that. You don't have to wait around until you've got all the cash together.
Yeah, really helps. So
we're excited about that. Check out that other video. It's up there before this. So
yes, it is. And you can visit our website at theinventorsarena.com, and we share information on it there as well. I would say that the theme of our little discussion here is be disciplined.
Yes.
Be very disciplined in your financing, not just for you personally, but particularly if you're going to ask others for investment money or go to a bank and ask for a loan. I mean, everybody's going to pull your credit report.
Yeah, and even in the program, we teach you to be in discipline in your inventing, in your spending, in your, being ready to go in front of being somebody that's going to give you some investment funding or whatever, and just be ready for that. be overprepared.
Yeah, and you can't be over-prepared for, for that. And if you don't have perfect credit, have an answer for that, have a strategy for that. When you go to the bank or when you sit across the table and say, historically, you can look and I've had great credit, but I'm pursuing this venture right now and I'm investing in myself. It's always a good answer to give. And, I will get that money back and, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Because in a perfect world, we'd all have ideal credit, but that's
No.
not real life, right? We encourage you to develop and keep great credit, but we realize it's up and down. And investors, of course, love good credit, right? And they ask to see yours. And if you can say, I got great credit, or it's, really reasonable for what I've been through, then that's
Yeah.
excellent.
I mean, actually, you could have great credit, but not have invested in your own project, and that could be against you.
Yes.
They could say, look, why don't you invest more in your own idea? And if you say, well, I would have had to put that on a credit card, they might say, well, why didn't you?
Yeah,
Why don't you invest in yourself? And so it's a balancing,
it is.
comes back to that being disciplined. And it's something we all work with, right? It's part of
Absolutely.
living in a society where you trade goods for services and money of value, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I think that is the thing is be disciplined, be prepared, don't overdo it, in terms of getting in too deep. Make sure, again, we're not giving financial advice, but make sure you are tending to your finances carefully. It's important to do that, even for yourself and your business to do that. And, so we encourage that. So
Yeah, and absolutely. And if you like this content, like and subscribe. We always love to hear from you as the audience, and we really encourage you. Go out and be a credit responsible inventor and be your best you.
The